Tonight's theme is, well, we were talking about it earlier. So we're going to, walking the ball is our theme with these hot icons from ball culture, past and present. Thank you for Beyonce, to Beyonce for helping us propel this idea. So this week we are going to play with Javier Ninja, Divo Ebony, and Jose Xtravaganza. I love that name. Now, the category is, I'm not him, Shag, Marry, Chop. And let's begin with Fay What, our one girl at the tape.
This is very difficult because these three gentlemen are super talented and cuties, all three of them. So let me start by saying that I am going to shag Divo Ebony. Dovo. What is it?
Divo Ebony.
Yes, yeah. For sure, Shag. I mean, he looks like he's going to give me a run for my money, and I will enjoy that evening personified. Look at that. Look, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I am going to marry Jose Xtravaganza because then I'll be Fay What Xtravaganza. And how perfect is that for a name?
You know, Fay always calculates how I can improve myself by either my name or my financial stability.
Financials. Yeah.
Maybe food too. If I get better food.
That's it. And so that means I have to chop Javier. It's nothing personal. That was super tough.
Yeah. Are you a ballroom fan?
And
You're a big Pose fan?
I'm a big Pose fan, and I'm a huge Jose Xtravaganza fan.
Right
I was
in the
a
middle.
kid, like, oh my God, like in New York, like he was the end all and be all.
I'm right in the middle of the binge. I went back and did the first episode of Pose, and I'm right in the middle. I'm about halfway. And it's better now than when I saw it the first time.
Oh, yeah?
Go back and do it. And Jonathan Casañas.
Yeah, so I was a ballroom kid. So I'm kind of basing this off the Vogue that I'm just seeing on the screen. But Divo's got some serious 360 dips.
You're making your Shag, Marry, Chop decisions on who's dancing
just on
the best?
Dancing, yeah.
Okay.
I may have lost to one of these individuals, but I'm not going to say who. But
would it surprise you if I said, I can't imagine you voguing at all?
Do you want to see a video?
Yes.
But that was before all the muscles. You couldn't get over that muscle.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're bigger.
But I think I would probably shag Divo.
But not in the best ways.
I'll probably shag Divo, just in case anybody wants to. I'll shag Divo for those sickening moves. I'm going to marry Javier, because Javier looks like a good time long term.
In what way? Why is he a good time long term?
Because look at his walk. Look at this. This is a position. Look at this. He looks spicy as fuck too.
And Xtravaganza is out.
Xtravaganza's out. He's got some good hand work. You know, some good arms control. But looks a little boring. Looks a little deadbeat to me. But obviously he's legendary. But I'm just saying, in this one video.
One of the big houses in Miami, I went with a group of friends prior to pandemic, and I went down to a ball. And when I walked into the room, you could hear the oxygen coming out of the room.
There's a white man here. There's a white man here.
And
House of Volvo has entered.
House of Volvo. The mother of the House of Volvo.
It wasn't just a white man walking in. It was this white man. And it was like, first off, they were shocked. I mean, literally, that I had walked into the room. And it was so nice because they were so kind to me. It was like that you spent the time to come to this, sat up in the balcony, watched every competition.
Did you sit on the balcony?
I did.
Wow. And what a Volvo moment that was for you.
And it was, I have to say, it was so much fun because it was like Broadway and a musical production. And
they go all out. Like,
oh my God.
And the imagery, and the work that they put in and the planning.
And you know what was interesting, and this is not a shady read at all, it was done so cheaply, so little really overall amount of money that went into it, and it was so incredible. Every single thing was intentioned. The one walk where you're in business attire, I've forgotten what that is called.
Business attire realness?
Yeah, business attire realness. You'd think I would remember that. And they would have, they'd have a briefcase, and they put the briefcase on the table of the judges and open the briefcase and start throwing money at them.
And so you don't minimize that, because that took moments. They had to plan all that out. And so the work that they go into that, the money,
it is. That's where the money goes.
That's where the money goes. And the practice and the right cues and the right hits.
Yeah, and that came about because back then, like, they really had to hide in this society where they had to be businessmen or businesswomen. And so they were like, who can like really pull this off. So who's gonna be the
Well,
corporate?
and it was always like in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not like
Oh my God,
Legendary is
right.
now. Where
And so,
Legendary now has got like millions of dollars and it's got Megan Thee Stallion as one of the,
a warehouse in a corner, so you would have the old, back in the day, you know, think about the big warehouses. You would have the party over here, and then the ballroom singing over there, and then you would see the girls and the folks do the big old circle up, and then they would do the walks, and they would have the battles, and they would do that thing, and then go right back in and party. But you would have that opportunity to be whomever it is that you wanted to be at that moment. So if you wanted to give that butch man realness, you had that opportunity to be, and you worked for however long you worked to get the right briefcase, to get the right suit, to get the right accessories, and you had to be on cue.
A lot of it was stolen, to be honest.
I
too.
had so much respect.
Absolutely,
for it.
absolutely.
And you know, what are the big houses in Miami? The real big one.
House of Lords.
House of Lords.
Yes.
Milan is big, Malaysia.
Exactly. It was Lord's
Lagos is
house.
big.
And they were hosting it and with other houses. And the other thing that I thought about when I watched it, it was really cool. Now I know, the whitest comment ever. But to be honest with you,
Did you expect anything different?
the vast majority of the community here in South Florida has no idea that it's going on. They just don't. The community in Wilton, Fort Lauderdale?
No idea.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it's been here
So
for
you watch
30
Pose and you go, oh,
years.
this is wonderful, I love it. It's right under your nose
Yeah, it
and
is.
you don't know it.
It is. It's been around. I mean, it obviously came down from New York like 25, 30 years ago. So it's a huge thing, but it's still very underground.
Yeah, exactly.
Community.
All right.
had to
And Elimination, who are you shagging?
So I just want to.
No, wait.
I've also
First off, do you like to shag?
every day.
Twice on Tuesday.
And 3 times on Friday. And so I also want to
But
say,
not Wednesdays. Wednesdays.
you know, I've already got the day, you know, Bulgaria, faithful, you know, I mean, but I also will share with you that I brought leather to the House of Lords Ball because just like you, when I was a title holder, I wanted them to know that we see them, that we support them, and having grown up in the 80s and seeing my friends do that, I was not that cool. I could dance up a storm, but that wasn't my thing. But I supported my siblings. I supported my folks who did that. But I saw here in South Florida, we don't go over that segregated line of, if I'm in this, I can't go to that. Yeah. And so when I went to the House of Lords Ball, it was so amazing because I brought several kinky folks with me, and we all were in our drag. We were all in our moment. And so we all walked in and we showed our community, our siblings, that they are not alone. And so kudos to the House of Volvo for going to the
Especially the mother of the house. The mother of Al Ferguson.
I mean, you know, the caboose only can sit in the balcony anyway.
I appreciate the compliment, but can I tell you something that's really interesting about your observation? And I say this very genuinely. The number one knock when somebody hits at me, it's age first, and it's like, I always say, you have my experience, and then you come back and talk to me. But number two, it's interesting to me that when I do have interest in things, I want to learn and et cetera, the number one knock is those people that go, no, you shouldn't do that. And
or you can't do that.
Or you can't do that.
Right.
And that's why I was so appreciative to the reaction that I had. People came and would grab me by the hand and I want you to come and meet my house and
and you should have more moments. And I challenge America. I challenge you to have more moments like that because we have the support. It's been around, and to your point about Pose, some of us have lived that life. Some of us have, and as you're watching, go back to that time and you had that moment where you remember when that song came on, what your life was like when you would go out at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then come home to the daylight hours and still had to go to work, still had to make a life.
You remember when you didn't have your family,
and you didn't have
family
a family,
shunned you, but
and
you
so
had your chosen family.
You had your chosen family, and that's where the youngsters now who can live off of that because we've been there and I love you for the age because if we're blessed enough, we continue to add to that family and become more diverse. And so I have my old House of Volvo adjacent.
And by the way, a Ford mammy who does Guilty Festival walked with Pose at World Pride in New York.
Yes. In fact, I watched all
Very cool. So who are you sleeping with?
Who the hell are you sleeping with?
Get to it.
Who are you shagging?
This was a definitely hard one for me as well. So I definitely am going to shag Ninja because he does seem like he has some flavor to him. It was between, and he only beat out Xtravaganza. Xtravaganza looked like he's flexible. I could do some things.
So you're marrying Xtravaganza.
So no. I'm going to marry Ebony Divo because Divo is I love a thick person to play with, and he looks like a great cutler. And I just see all the movements, and I like to wrestle as well. And so that right there does it all for me. Xtravaganza is beautiful looking. He'll be good arm candy. So yeah, I would marry Divo, I would shag Javier daily,
right.
and probably cheat with
Cheat on them. That's funny. And Max, who are you going to shag? You're big in the ballroom scene, I'm sure.
No, probably. Yeah, obviously.
Who's your shag?
Ebony. Yeah, no,
That's all you got.
That's it.
There we
And
go.
scene.
I love the smile though. I love the smile. The smile is the best.
All right.
It says it all.
And with me,
Xtravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Yeah,
Come.
icon. I love it. Yeah.
Do you like thin guys?
What?
He's looking at us.
Wait, I'll write it on
looking
the
at-
card
Sorry.
for you.
You like thin
Sorry,
guys.
I'm looking at the
Yeah,
screen.
that Extravaganza's pretty thin.
Yeah, well, not. I don't know.
So you
that's
don't like-
part of. That's actually part of the
You don't
reason
like
that.
big muscle bears.
Actually, part of the reason that I'm chopping Javier Ninja is because it's giving like twink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you like
And you
big
want to be the
muscle
twink in the
bears?
relationship, right?
Maybe, yeah.
There you go. All right. And Javier is the chop.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. We play it every week. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.